Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did job quests, and we're gonna go and do even more job quests. Hope you're not tired of me yet. Alan, I have a letter for you that arrived at the inn. It's from Makoto, the Hingan samurai who came all the way here to seek who came all the way here seeking Musasai. Can't imagine what this might be about. Let's find out, shall we? Dear Lynn, I pray this letter finds you well. You received me with kindness when first we met, and I write to you in hopes of depending upon your kindness once more. You will recall what I told you of Ugetsu and his growing faction of insurgents. Upon my return to Kagane, I was dismayed to find that his influence had spread to alarming proportions. Outbreaks of violence have become a regularity, and the men and women of the Sega Tsugumi struggle to maintain order. Each day we fight, and each day our strength is shown further. The enemy, it shames me to say, completely as our measure. I shall speak plainly. We are in desperate need of aid, and I beseech you to lend your katana to our cause. As Master Musasai's last pupil, your skills would help us turn the rising tide. I know full well that I ask much of you. To journey halfway across the world and involve yourself in a struggle not your own. Yet ask I must, for should the Bakufu fall, the realm would be plunged into chaos, and innocent people would be subjugated to untold suffering. With all my being, I pray that you will answer our call, and ere long we shall meet again in Kugane. Sincerely yours, Makoto. Musasai's first and final pupils pitted against each other. There's certainly poetry in that, and you can take comfort in the knowledge that you'd be fighting on the side of justice. As Makoto writes, though, it's a lot to ask, and the decision is yours to make, but for my unsolicited opinion, I reckon you should do it. For the old man, if no one else. Use my tickets. Let's there we go. Although I'm gonna have to go back to Eorzea at some point. Anyway. May as well just keep him in there. For the moment, in any case. A samurai, yet yours is not a familiar face. Makoto's foreign guest, I take it? My apologies, but she is on hand. She's not on hand to receive you. She's presently leading a mission to Sakazuki, where insurgent leaders are meeting in secret. Let me think for a moment then. Okay. However, they are late to return, and I must confess that I grow worried. I would go and find them myself, but I cannot well abandon my post. Might I ask you to join in my stead? Or to go in my stead? Sakazuki is on the island over there, yeah. I'm gonna go and take a ship over there, though, because... well... there's no Aetheryte all the way down there. Because why would there be... although I can just go over here, right? Yeah. Oh my god. Rick Astley is back. That joke will never get old. At least not to me. Bum, bum. Another one! I should check what I got at level 62. Although I think I know. Yeah, it's a Satsuki then. So it's the AoE version, basically, of Hisatsu something. Murakami, it's really you. I don't know how to thank you, Lin. We caught wind of a secret insurgent meeting and came here hoping to learn something of their plans. But they were the ones who knew of ours. They were expecting us and had laid a trap, before we knew what was happening. We Hingans live by a rigid caste system, wherein one standing in society is inherited rather than earned. My comrade, he hailed from a poor farming village. His family grew scarcely enough to pay their lord his dues, and it was all they could do not to starve. In order to escape the shackles of his birth, he sought a new life in Kugane, a more progressive district, where a man may yet rise above his station. He became a samurai in hopes that he might one day have the power to bring about change. Change to an irrational system that holds people hostage to their birth. Souls such as him make up the ffXIV, those raised with a plough in hand and not a blade. You'll find none among us born into a samurai family. Ours is a ragtag band gathered from the lower rungs of society. Yet for our disparate origins, we are patriots all. Ugetsu and his cohorts, too, claim to be patriots, but in order to bring about their change, they would as soon see our nation razed to the ground. As with any nation, Hingashi is not free of problems. Far from it. But should the Bakufu be toppled, the great lords would rise against each other in a bid for power. The realm would be transformed into a battlefield, and another age of blood would begin. If we are to prevent this, if we are to protect peace, Ugetsu must not be allowed to succeed, no matter the cost. Forgive me, now is not the time to hold forth my passions. I shall bear my comrade back to the barracks. Pray join me there. That the enemy should know our plans. The loss of a comrade pains us, but we are grateful for Makoto's preservation. She has taught me all, as Master Musasai's pupil. Your blade would be most welcome in these dire times. Lin, pray allow me to confirm your intent. By your coming to Kugane, may we take it to mean that you will aid us in our fight? Yeah. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Our cause is much bolstered for your blade. Without further ado, I would introduce you to our captain. However, there's one thing I must ask of you. Pray keep the fact that you are Master Musasai's pupil to yourself. It may make little sense to you, but that you shared a master with a wanted criminal would mark you out for suspicion. That is simply the way of it in our culture. Lieutenant Shiden alone knows the truth and understands, but few are as open-minded as him. It occurs to me I have yet to introduce myself. As Makoto says, I am Shiden, lieutenant of the ffXIV, and may I apologize for our orders pensioned for procedure. When I sent you to find Makoto in my stead, I could not leave my post due to a prior duty, tending to the whims of a visiting dignitary, pressing businesses, as you'll no doubt appreciate. Now, if you wait just a moment, I shall bring Captain Kongo hither. May I present to you Lin Adair, who has journeyed from faraway Eorzea to aid our cause. Though she is not of our land, I have witnessed her skill at arms firsthand, and have every confidence that she will prove an invaluable ally. Captain? Would ever trust our lives to an outsider? For all we know, she is one of Ugetsu's, or even an Imperial Pie. An Imperial Pie! An Imperial spy. Captain, please. Lin is a good woman, and true. I personally vouch for her identity and shall assume all responsibility for her actions. Should her origin give you cause to doubt, you would do well to doubt us all, the sons and daughters of nameless farmers and laborers, and the kami know what else. Very well. But mark my words, outsider. Single misstep and I will cut you down. Forgive the captain, my friend. He beholds himself responsible for all our losses, and we fight a losing battle. In spite of our best efforts, we are no closer to ascertaining Ugetsu's whereabouts, nor do we know the full extent of his operations. And in light of the recent ambush, I fear there is a breach in our security. As if he had not problems enough, His Excellency the Tyro, one of our nation's most powerful men, has chosen this juncture to come to Kagane on an embassy visit. Ugetsu will likely look to wreak further chaos, and it falls to the Sekisagumi to keep our honored guests hale and whole. We will be out in force providing security, and I pray that we can rely on your blade as well. I too must beg your forgiveness for the captain's outburst. With naught to show for our efforts, he grows ever more irritable. Now then, I must return to my duties. We have no tasks for you at present, but in case of an emergency, pray remain near and with your katana near at hand. Okay. Well, that was a little bit crazy. Right, and next step, hard. To Gearbania. I will use any sweat ticket. Because those teleport rates definitely start adding up. I'll be losing a lot of money in Stormblood. Just through teleporting around. Gah, can't believe I'm saying this, but Norval might be an even bigger pain than Gidlot. Despite my express instructions to keep out of the garrison's way, what does he do but go and bother every single soldier about? Now everyone here looks at us askance. Ugh. Got a tome to record mission details, but instead I'm filling it with the names of those to whom I must apologize. I'm sorry if I've caused trouble, but it's simply more efficient that I make the inquiries myself. What a man says amounts to only half the story. How he says it gives you the rest. Besides, I felt compelled to make it for Master Gidlot. All he seems to be doing was drinking and singing. Well, appearances can be deceiving with him. He has his own way of acquiring information. Speaking of which, I'm curious as to what he has learned. Then might I ask you to look around around the castle for him? I will keep a close eye on Norval in the meantime. Sanson wants to know what I know, does he? Well, might be as I've learned a thing or two, but I ain't ready to share 'em yet. Still need to clear up some details, see? And I'm not one for unfinished tales. It ain't Bardley, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Seeing as you're here, though, there is something I could use a hand with. Of late, masked bandits have been terrorizing the area. Not even Alliance soldiers are safe, it seems. A brazen bastard set up on a patrol just the other day. And now a twin outer scout, late to return, and chances are the bandits are at it again. I want you to go and check things out. I'd go myself, but I need to keep an eye on our friend Norval. He's been acting queer since we got here. There'll be more to tell later, but for now you'd best be on your way. The soldier was bound for Schism, the ruins to the northeast of here. Everybody! Everybody goes to the Schism. Your mom, your grandma, your grandpa, everybody. The Garleans, whatever. Just everybody, anybody and everybody just goes to the Schism. It's just the hotspot in Gearbania. Screw Rolger's Reach. Nobody cares about that place. That was a surprising outburst. Oops. Well, whatever. At least it gives me some like objectives in the middle, so it feels a little bit less painful. There's a big old bee. Get that bitch! Oh, those bitches. No bitches? So thank you. They fell upon me with nary a warning. They knew I was coming. We alter our patrol routes on a regular basis, but they knew. What's more, it was as though they were barring my way. But now it is not time for speculation. I must take word of this back to my superiors. My thanks again, friend. Well, that quest was simple. But hey, I'm not complaining. bum bum. Yo. Yo. There you are then. So, what happens? Was it the bandits after all? Masked bandits in the area, and you had an encounter with them? Thank the matron you did not come to harm. Killed, why did you not see fit to share this with us? Aye, well, I knew it was nothing Lynn couldn't handle alone. Besides, I had some business of my own. Someone to keep an eye on. I cannot imagine who that might be, Master Gidalot. I owe you an apology. I'd assumed in error that you were not doing your work. Unorthodox though your methods may be, there's no doubting your efficacy. Ain't no trick to what I do. Everyone's got a song what's close to their hearts, and with a bit of camaraderie in the cups, they'll tell you what it is. Then I strum them their song over a heart-to-heart, is all. Thanks to Gidlot, we were able to learn of the recent incidents. So I ask you, do you not have a little faith in us? I am not certain I understand. Look, Norval, we've made a stop here at your request. We might gather information for our search, but not once did you tell us what it is we should look for. By now, we have more than a solid grasp on the region beyond. What should we do next? Oh my, did I neglect to tell you? My profoundest apologies. The tome we seek, it's set to rest in a place connected to Gilbart, the general who led the Alamegan forces during the Autumn War. Now that you mention it, the masked bandits appeared on the way to the schism. And Gilbart was a known devotee of the Fist of Frogger. Just taking a wild stab here, but might be as there also after our term. An unsettling notion. Should that be the case, we haven't any time to waste. I will go and make some inquiries immediately. But wait, I didn't give you Leave him. There's something you two need to know. I got it from a soldier, but Norval's been sneaking outside the cache while our backs are turned. Bass has been acting right fishy since we got here, and he tensed up good when the subject of the masked bandits came up. Whatever his true motives may be, we must bring them to light. Rather than reel him in, let us give him some line to act. There's no telling what Norval will do next. While we keep watch, please see that you are ready to deal with anything. Alright. What do we actually get at this level? Level 62. I looked at a different thing. I was like, Shadow Bite? But no. We learn Troubadour instead, which is reduces damage taken by self and nearby party members by 10%. So it is that's basically the same as Tactician from Machinists. However, as you can see, effect cannot be stacked with Machinist, Tactician, or Dance or Shield Samba. So you can use this, but if you have another Machinist in your party, you can just override each other's buffs. So anyway, next up is the Machinists. The Grunting Heist. Come to see how we're doing then. I will. There ain't much to test yet. Things are coming along, but progress is bloody slow. Not one of these buggers is a flair for the irons, what you or Joy showed. Ha! We'd best let him get back to it then. I have a different favour to ask of you then. The watch has been tasked with its first big job, standing guard at the Temple Knight's investiture ceremony. This ceremony is an important event, and setting the watch too, well, watch over. It's a gesture what's meant to embody the new spirit of harmony between highborn and lowborn. Lucia didn't honor your words. She said that making a mess of this duty is like to harm her reputation beyond saving. The hands will be knocked down before they even take the first step. We're getting back to that favour. There's to be a meeting to discuss security concerns for the event, and I want you sitting in on it. You see, the representative for the Temple Knights is the kind of bloke who has me itching to shoot him in the teeth. Pompous bastard by the name of Muscadine. If you're there, I might just be able to keep my trigger finger under control. Thanks, then. I appreciate the support. I'll see you at the congregation, then. What do we actually get at level 62? We get this mantle, which is an intriguing little move. The thing that this mantle does, which is a move that has been added not too long ago, if I recall. It lowers the target's damage dealt by 10%. Quite simple. We just hit the targets and you lower their attack, like their damage in general, by a beautiful 10%. It's a pretty nice little thing. TBH. IMO. I was not informed. Linz here is my advisor. Trust her advice a damn sight more than that of a certain empty-helmed, stiff-backed blue blood. I will not dispute her place at this meeting. In fact, I would be far less inclined to entrust this duty to a certain foul-mouthed, disrespectful commoner were she not accompanied by such an advisor. My apologies for the interruption, Sir Muscadine. I bear urgent news. Speak then. Sir, a thief has breached the vault and stolen the sacred blade of Hrunting. Hrunting swords, what used to dub no knights, or so they tell me. But that place is crawling with guards. Hard to imagine how someone even managed to get in there, let alone filch anything. It is unthinkable. The treasury door is secured with 7 different locks. Sentries stand vigil day and night. None could approach without notice. The sentries claimed they were struck senseless. They later awoke to find the door to the treasury hanging open. But of all the valuables secreted within, only the blade was missing. By all accounts, the entire incident took place over the span of a few short minutes. This burglar obviously had a plan and was very precise in his execution. And he said that only Hrunting was taken. The loss of such a prominent symbol right before the ceremony bodes ill for Sir Emmerich's reputation. The Lord Commander cannot afford to have his authority eroded at this delicate stage, lest Ishgard once more fall prey to an infighting and insurrection. We must reclaim that blade ere its disappearance becomes common knowledge. Not a time nor a night's to spare for this. Well, my hands might be able to help you there. They're the best to watch has to offer, and I reckon they can keep their gob shut. Your ceremony is our time to shine, so we've a vested interest in seeing it go forward as planned. And there's no harm in getting on Sir Emmerich's good side neither. What say we look into it? Do as you wish. With Lynn's assistance, mayhap even your mob of commoners will see some modicum of success. Now, if you would excuse me. Prickly bastard. You'd think he'd show a bit more bloody gratitude. Anyway, enough of that. We have a sort to find. We can begin by asking some questions, I reckon. Get our own idea of what happened. Ready to put on your Inquisitor robe? Good, then I have the perfect bloke for us to talk to. I know a knight who took part in that raid on the vault a while back, and he just so happens to be a captain of the Treasury Guard. Let's head to the Hopland and see if our man's about. Mrs. Lynn and Mr. Silda, Sir Muscadine told me to expect you. Huh, and I thought I had no time to spare. So does this mean you're here to help or hinder us? Why, to help you, of course. Here, material evidence from the scene. All 7 locks on the treasury door were destroyed, and this scrap of metal was found lodged in one of the keyholes. The impacts crushed it all out of shape. That looks like a bullet to me. Our culprit's wielding some sort of firearm. A firearm, did you say? Who the heck is talking? No. Has there been yet another crime committed with one of those horrible inventions? By the gods, I can scarcely sleep at night for worry. I suspect this is all the fault of Sir Emmerich's precious revolution. And what you be, miss? What did you mean by another crime? Well, the tales I've heard at the high tea this past week would curl your toes. I say a musket-wielding brigand now terrorizes the Western Highlands, just when the threat of those dragon-loving heretics has finally ended. A new nightmare rises to take their place. Unless you think there's some noble lady's fancy, even the traders come to supply the crozier. The croziers speak of shots echoing the air near Hemlock. Dreadful, simply dreadful. I understand that our knights must honor their oath to aid foreign nations, but must it come at the cost of keeping order in Ishgard? Look at me. I'm positively flushed. I must retire to my chambers. Was you out of here, Nurse Summit? That slattern Harvey didn't so much as take a glance in my direction. An unfortunate habit of the more traditional highborn, I'm afraid. Such stubborn examples aside, however, your actions have taught many of our nobles the wisdom of heeding the common citizenry. I've not been ignored like that in a while. Well, thank you for the bullet, Sir Knight. Good day to you. As much as I'd like to ignore her ladyship's babbling, might be worth looking into the rumour of this bandit up near Hemlock. Considering the time and how the treasury was robbed, it's just too much of a coincidence. We have a couple of leads to follow, eh? Why don't you take the bullet to Stephanivian and see if he can tell us where it came from. Meanwhile, I'll head out to Hemlock and look for anyone that's armed with a carbine or something similar. Come join me once you're done with the bullet. Might be as I'll need your help with the search. Oh, the accents. I suck at them. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum. To foundation. Emon. Anyway, the joke is, it's not funny. And I guess not funny enough to keep repeating it. Then, how fares the trading of our indomitable watch? Huh? You have something for me? A deformed bullet extracted from the shadowed lock of a vault door. Yes, this is certainly the remnant of a bullet fired from close range, but more than that I cannot tell you. It may have been right here in the manufactory, but honestly, there's little difference between our ammunition and the bullets forged in limbs Alaminza. I'm sorry, the deformation makes it impossible to identify an origin with any degree of accuracy. Okay. Hemlock? I didn't even think about that. I didn't even pay attention to where this was. Pop, pop, pop. It's always so relaxing, this area. Each and every bloody time. Oh yeah, I get to shoot my guns! I guess I can... Does this actually work on that? Huh. I never know. I just used an illegal move. My thanks, just paying too much attention to the ground and then beasts came at me. Managed to put down one or two, but... What's that you got there? Leather collar. The collar removed from a vicious guard beast. Leather collar. Huh. Those curse must have been set to guard the place. Though they seem wild enough to me. I found the signs that someone was here then. Could be that their ladyship's brigand is more than empty parlor talk. Let's get back to the room before we compare notes though, eh? Bloody freezing out of you. Right, the broom. The broom! Yumpity yumpity. Wee. Hello. Right, so what do we got? Did that bullet have a tale to tell? Ah, that's too bad. Thought maybe we could learn where it came from at least. Seems that leaves us chasing after this mystery bandit. Maybe I'll head out to Hemlock again and have another poke around. I'll stick it out here and keep drilling the troops then. You'll be the first to know when they're ready for inspection. I'll make you proud, don't you worry about that. And don't stay away for too long. You've a thief to catch. Right, time for Black Mage. Bum bum bum. I think I'm not gonna need my ether. Actually, I will need it to go back to. I will need it to go back to the Ruby Sea when I continue the main story. The accursed main story. Truly revolting. No. That's a lie. A bloody lie. Ah, Lynn, good. For better or for worse, it would seem Shitoto is still enjoying herself a peaceful slumber. In the meantime, my study of the Book of Nald Thal has proven rather enlightening. In particular, I was surprised to learn that while the statue in Nald's reflection is a relatively recent construction, in historical terms of course, the goblet it holds in its hands is quite ancient. It would appear that it was within that vessel Mr. Shitoto's soul was sealed away. Master's Records goes on to state that the inner surface of the goblet is inscribed with a message in the glyphs of ancient Mach. It reads, yes, here it is. The power of destruction did rend the baleful star, and peace doth reign near and afar. Yet 23 centuries hence shall it come anew, and certain doom is sure to ensue. A prophecy of sorts, it would seem. It has been roughly 2300 years since Shitoto founded black magic, which means it is entirely possible she herself left the inscription. But whatever sort of doom could the prophecy be referring to? I fear it is all rather cryptic. Lalai and Lynn as well. I would speak with the both of you at once. Ah, him. While I would like nothing more than to catch up on old times, I come bearing grave tidings. My friends, pray lend me your aid. Well, if it isn't our favourite Gubu-headed hearer. I would have thought the seventh hell would freeze over before you cast your lot in with purveyors of destruction. What have we done to deserve the honour of your grovelling? This is no time for jest. Lalai, the situation is most dire. Why, a veritable horde of crazy golems has burst forth from the lost city, and is wreaking havoc on its Twelvewood even as we speak. Whatever foul sorcery led them to abandon their orders and run rampant, we cannot say, but one thing is certain, if we do not deal with them, and do so swiftly, there's no telling what damage they might inflict upon our forest home. That does sound like cause for concern. Very well. I suppose it would not kill us to put the matter of Shitoto aside for the moment, and... Wait, no, not now! Ugh. I say, how can that girl think straight with this ungodly fool's cap weighing her down? Or perhaps she can't, and that is why. But, of course, it all makes perfect sense. Why, hello there. Did you miss me and my prodigious intellect? Of course you did. Now, look, we haven't much time, so do try to keep pace. The Search of Ether? Just who? Or what are you? Yes, I'm sure there's so much you'd like to know. But where would that get us? I've already heard all I need to know, through the girl's ears. We are needed in the South Stride, yes? Rampaging golems, was it? Indeed, I've tasked a whaler named Delphine with looking into the matter. With any luck, he has gleaned some knowledge that might avail us in plotting a suitable course of action. Elphine, South Stride. Yes, I believe the great Shitoto has all she needs. Well, come on now. No point in standing around like gawping goobus when there's work to be done, right? Right. Shitoto? Lynn, I am most grateful for your aid, but do not get me wrong, but if there is anything that you and Lalai have been keeping from me, mark my words, I will hear of it in full when our task is done. Let's take a look at what I actually get at level 62. I think I already checked it out earlier at some point. Yeah, we get between the lines. So this will allow us to teleport to the location of our ley lines. So this way we can basically teleport to somebody to avoid an AoE, and then teleport back to the ley lines to continue casting. It's a very nice little tool. Doesn't make me like playing Black Mage anymore, but whatever. Welcome, friends. You come seeking news of the golems, yes? What did I have any to give? I fear not a single one of the creatures has manifested itself before mine eyes. So you say, my good man, but it is possible that you do not see the trees of the forest. Sometimes that which we seek is right before us, and we need only attune our vision. Why, is it just me, or do I spy a number of curious stone structures peeking out from the brush? Yes, I have an inkling that our foe may be hiding in plain sight. But just how is one to distinguish living stone from the more ordinary type? Why, I do believe the former would take far less kindly to being scorched with a burst of hellfire. So, the path is clear, yes? Let's get blasting. So anyway, I started blasting. Cast fires 3 on these rocks? Ugh. That's a little bit annoying. Suspicious stone! You sense a hostile presence. Fractured monodole. There we go. Really? Ah, crap. That was not the best maneuver. Hello, can I get my... Just one moment. Actually, wait, I have this. Which means I can do one cast of this. Oh, yeah. I am the perfect black mage. I play it perfectly. Never make any mistakes. Anyway, die. Really, all of them are freaking enemies? Jesus. I'm gonna use the spare because I want to. There we go. Meow. That was fun, wasn't it? Now, while I am not wont to repeat myself, it seems I should make an exception for the slower members of our band. You have the privilege of standing before the Archmage Shatoto, or rather a memory of the same which has awakened after years of slumber to rescue your realm from a fate most dire. Slower? Lady Shatoto, if that is truly who you are, I cannot deny your arcane prowess. Yet there is much about this matter that does not sit well with me. Pray explain yourself. What is this dire fate of which you speak? Oh dear, you really aren't very smart. Very well, I shall begin from the very, beginning. Dear me, did I almost rhyme? What does that anyway? Anyhow, the tale begins some 2 millennia ago, when the great civilization of Mach was still in its infancy. Our scholars ascertained that a mighty comet, awash with unspeakable ethereal energy, was on course to strike our fair home and reduce it to so much rubble. And so I thought to rectify the situation the only way I knew how, by blasting the foul rock out of the sky with the most powerful destructive magic our realm has ever seen. This, more than anything, was what spurred me to developing the art of black magic as it is known today. Needless to say, my plan was a remarkable success. A massive chunk of the comet was shattered, knocking it clear off its path and sending it spinning harmlessly off into the heavens. The story, however, does not end there. Fragments of the meteor hurtled to and embedded themselves in the earth. While small enough that their impact caused no significant damage, they remained beneath the surface, brimming with etheric energies just awaiting to be unearthed. Needless to say, these otherworldly stones drew the attention of mages far and wide, who sought to claim their powers for their own. These are the stones that gave the golems their souls, by whose powers many a city-state flourished. And yet, these stones held yet further secrets. When 2 of them were brought together, they would call out to one another, ether reacting to ether to augment their mutual powers to still greater heights. Mind you, the power of mere fragments, even in a heightened state, would be far too meager to be cause for concern. One threat, however, still lingered. What if the comet, the Mother Stone as it were to return? Its orbitus, orbits, bringing it in shouting distance of our world once more. Would not its remnants, its children, summon it hither in all its destructive glory? Preposterous! Did your vaunted black magic not knock the comet clear across the skies? Why, it is simply inconceivable that its path should bring it back around, back in our direction. Inconceivable to feebler minds, perhaps, but not mine own. In fact, I posit that the comet is drawing near every moment, and it is for this very reason that the golems are now running amok. If left unattended, the implications for this world could be calamitous indeed. Fortunately, we have an ally in the impending battle, a prodigy who foresaw the danger that was to come, and sent her memory into the future that she might return to save the day. You mean to say that you predicted that this threat would come over 2,000 years ago? Mind you, and devised an incantation for the sole purpose of allowing you to return to us in our time of need? I do believe I've already said precisely that. Of course, I did not do it entirely on my own. The spell would have been lost to history if crazy old Kukuruka hadn't dug it up when he did and recorded for posterity. The little Lalai and Lin also played their part as well. Ah, how wonderful it is when one's followers, against their natural tendencies perhaps, manage not to make another mess of things. I must admit, the whole story still strikes me as a bit far-fetched. I mistrust neither your motives nor your skill, Lady Shisoto, but as a hero charged with the protection of this wood, I cannot leave this matter to you alone. I will accompany you and offer what aid I can. But first, let us return to Ul'dah. I will hear more of the plan you propose before we take action. Must you? Very well. Just promise you will not get in our way. Now come along, my puppets. I have a realm to save, and you're going to help me. Okay. Okay. Black magic, it is really good in doing damage. Not allowing you to survive though. I feel like it does the opposite. It has the principle of, if I can't kill the enemy before I die, well, yeah, it has the tendency to be like, you don't take any damage if the enemy is already dead. Laughs in ley lines. The hero assures me that there have been no golem uprisings elsewhere, and since he clearly is too thick to tell a convincing lie, I am inclined to believe him. This means that we still have time to form a plan of attack. I do pride myself on my honesty, and so I will be honest with you when I say this. Your art is, to put it kindly, not looked fondly upon in our day and age, and your story stretches the limits of believability. We cannot stave off this calamity alone, but any entreaties you might make are not like to find a receptive audience. I, on the other hand, have friends in positions of some prominence. I shall reach out to them and see what aid they are willing to offer. How charming. He actually thinks he might prove himself useful. In your spare time, might you not ask your astrologian friends if they have any recent calculations on the comet's path? I have no reason to doubt the accuracy of my own, of course, but I was working off 2 millennial data. As you wish. Forgive me for being forward, but when I inquire as to the well-being of our mutual friend Lalai, she is still in there somewhere, yes? Oh, she most certainly is, worry not. The girl's consciousness is just enjoying a short respite. Which reminds me, I really am due for a nap myself. Be a dear and do not try to let things go to hell in my absence, will you? Shitoto, mother of the art that brought a great flood upon us. Has she truly returned to deliver us from doom? The progenitor of our esteemed art has chosen me as her vessel in hopes of saving our world from a falling star. I can scarce imagine a greater honor. Come in. You must put our minds together and figure out how we might best do our bidding. Wait a lie. If you take her words at face value, Shitoto has only the realm's best interest at heart, and yet I, for one, remain skeptical. Which is not to say I doubt her intentions, or yours, for that matter, and yet we speak of the founder of the very art which gave rise to the War of the Magi and the Sixth Umbral Calamity. Could it not be that even in seeking to save our realm, she's like as not to destroy it? Blasphemy! Why, Lady Shitoto had long since passed when the war broke out. Only a blind, blustering half-wit would even think to hold her responsible for... Though, when I put it that way... I understand this, and that is why I begrudge neither you nor her my aid, such as it will serve to protect the realm's peace. At the same time, I intend to keep a close watch on her. One can never be too wary, after all. In any event, I will gather what knowledge I can of the threat we face, and I would be most grateful if you could do the same. Might I suggest speaking with your beastmen allies? If the idea has not already occurred to you, that is. I swear, that man's head is made of harder stone than any golem. Still, at least he is cooperating with us, which is progress of some sort. In any event, I will reach out to our Beastman friends, and I encourage you to return to your studies in the meantime. If one thing is clear, it is that the task ahead will test us to our very limits. Yeah. Alright, my friends, and that is where I'm going to leave it off. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Just I was playing Final Fantasy XIV. And the next episode, we are going to go and finish off the job quests, which once again took way more episodes than I thought it would be. But the amount of jobs is increasing with each expansion, so... Although, actually, I'm thinking about it. I literally talking about this. This is the most amount of job quests I'm going to have to do ever. Anyway, goodbye.